Guys, what the hell is going on with this Epstein situation? I thought this was going to be done and over with, like 2 weeks into the beginning of Trump's term. And here we are, 6 months later, with no answers. And you can tell they're just feeding us these little breadcrumbs here and there so we don't go completely ballistic. Well, too bad, this little chunk of meat they just tried to feed the wolves was actually more like throwing kerosene on a fire. This is absurd. We honestly deserve better than this. There are so many things wrong with this situation that just don't make any sense. First of all, you see Pam Bondi, Trump, JD Vance, that Dan guy, and Kash Patel have all had a complete 180-degree shift. Their tone is not one of, we're getting to the bottom of this. They're clearly just trying to cover it up at this point. I'm hearing things from people like Mossad is blackmailing our politician. That would be Israel's intelligence agency, kind of like their CIA. I'm hearing maybe China or Russia have copies of these videos pertaining to corporate CEOs and other executives and high-up politicians in Congress, potentially Trump himself. Let's talk about that too. He's been particularly friendly with Epstein in the past, but more so Ghislaine Maxwell. And now I'm hearing Ghislaine Maxwell's father was in Mossad and was an intelligence agent for Israel. This is just getting so weird and making so little sense and raising so many questions. We still don't even know where Epstein got all of his money. They're saying there's no client list or whatever, that it's, Pam Bondi said it's just CP, guys. It's just he downloaded it, like, on the internet. Okay, where did he get all his money then? Who was giving him money and for what reason? Why did he end up dying in a maximum security prison? Why were the cameras off? Why were the guards asleep? How did the stars just align? Why, when they released the video, didn't we get the video of him, his body being taken out of the prison? Why did we get such a nothing burger clip, again with a minute missing? Why doesn't the original DOJ report line up with that footage anyway? What is going on? We have this binder stunt that was a complete farce, complete fake. Pam Bondi said she has the list. Now she says that's not what she was talking about. Kash Patel is sweating his balls off on Rogan answering these questions. And I don't know if you remember, but he totally excused himself from the conversation when, in the middle of Joe Rogan's interview, Elon tweeted out that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files. And he's just like, this ain't my lane, bro. I'm not getting involved in this. Well, why the hell not? Isn't that the job of the FBI director? What kind of flaccid individual are you? What do you mean you're not getting involved? This is your whole job. And now we have Elon pressing even harder. In fact, he looks like he's about to launch his own party based solely on this issue, saying, if the America Party elects me, I'll release the Epstein files on day one. We have over 1,000 victims from what they've said, tens of thousands of videos from what they've said, all this testimony from victims, and somehow we can't get any of it. I don't understand how this can keep going on much longer. The only thing I see that's going to result from this situation is people are going to continue to get more and more pissed off until we all finally do something about it. Because if you think about it, think about this. The kind of people that are implicated in this scandal, in this depraved crime, are the same people that are leading our country, that are running our corporations. They are completely ingrained in the highest places in our society. And they all now seem to have a vested interest in having this never come out. So I don't know what else people do. I'm getting more and more pissed about this thing. In my opinion, this should have all come out during Trump's first term. People forget, but he died 6 years ago. Epstein was found dead in his cell. That was about a year before the end of Trump's first term. Why didn't it come out then? Well, they kept feeding us all this crap about we need to do our due diligence. And then during Biden's term, they kept saying, we're going to release it. We're going to like first 2 weeks, whatever their BS was that they served us, none of it is coming true. Again, a complete 180 on that. And now Trump is even just telling everyone to shut up about it. Why are we still talking about it? Well, motherfucker, why do you think we're still talking about it? What do you mean? What's wrong with you? This is like one of the most depraved crimes of this century. It'll probably be the most depraved, largest scale crime that happens this century, with the most high net worth individuals, the most influential individuals in our country potentially involved. That was it for me right there. I think when he said that, when he came back and snapped at that reporter like that, I took it personally. I don't understand understand that at all, especially because he campaigned on it. At this point, I'm really convinced of one thing, and that these people at the top are all compromised by this issue. I think that this crime and the evidence that it produced is now being leveraged against them, and they are no longer acting in our best interest. I think our ship, the American ship, is now being captained by people who have a gun to their head. That's what's making sense to me more and more. And I know people are coming up with all kinds of wild conspiracies, and the longer this goes on, the more those wild conspiracies start to make more sense than the shit they're serving us, than the excuses they're coming up with. I mean, what are some of these excuses? I was referring to all the files on my desk, MLK, JFK. What are you talking about? Pam Bondi was asked very clearly, do you have the Epstein client list? She said yes. It's on my desk right now. Do they think we're stupid or something? I think they do. I think they think we're stupid. And I recently found out that the House GOP, back in February, put up a post with a link saying, here's the Epstein files, everybody. And then when you click on it, it sends you to the, Rick Astley's, Never Gonna Give You Up. It was a Rick roll. So they think this is funny or something? Because I don't see what's funny about this. Sex crimes committed against children, potentially thousands of them, is not funny. The implications that arise from this are not funny. That the people, yes, leading our country are involved with this kind of thing and are possibly being blackmailed into steering our ship off a waterfall or something. Who knows what could be happening with that? None of it's funny. Nobody's laughing. People are getting pissed. They're getting fucking pissed. And I don't know if they don't see it or they just can't seem to take the temperature. But this kind of a response and these jokes are going to be the undoing of these people. I mean, I'm even hearing the word revolution being thrown around over this. Because you got to remember, the Epstein thing doesn't exist in a vacuum. We simultaneously are being sucked into wars right now. People are afraid of that. We have existential issues on the horizon. Things like climate change. Whatever your opinion is on that and AI, a lot of people do believe it. There is some science there. It's potentially true, and people are having to live with that every day, that there's this unstoppable existential issue that's brewing at all points in time. And then in parallel with all of that, we still have our economy, which is in shambles. People can barely afford to eat. People are having to pick between paying their rent and buying food for their children. People can no longer afford health insurance. They're being completely tanked and sucked under into the depths, the abyssal depths of debt for one medical issue. We're having serious problems. And now, in addition to being these decadent assholes, these people seem to be degenerate isn't even the right word. They aren't decadent and degenerate. They're decadent and depraved. This is sick. These crimes rank amongst the highest, if you think about it. Even among criminals, these crimes get you killed. All the murderers, thieves, arsonists, muggers, they're bad people. But you know who they all hate more than anybody is a pedophile. All these immoral guys in prison will come together on one issue, and that is crimes against children. So you can see how this could potentially be used as some pretty hefty leverage against people in pretty high positions. Because even someone like Trump, someone like Bill Gates, Bezos, whoever's implicated, no matter how rich, if something like this were to come out about you, you're done. It doesn't matter how much money you have. There will be people who will go to the corners of the planet, to the deepest, dankest jungles to find you, to the highest peaks on the iciest of mountains in Antarctica. It doesn't matter where you go on this planet. People will come to find you and get rid of you for something like this. So yeah, I don't understand the tone that's being taken right now, because it's one of kind of jokingness or apathy, and that is the complete opposite. It is contrasting horribly with the tone taken by the American people right now. And I want to say something about what we're seeing a lot from the left right now as far as enjoying the outrage from MAGA. Go ahead, right? Like enjoy a moment, but please, at some point soon here, get on the bandwagon, right? Get with the issue, because I guarantee you, everybody in this country right now is negatively impacted by the moral ineptitude that these people are using in their daily lives, that the people up in the highest echelons of our society are operating by. We, as a people, don't deserve this. We need to set aside our red versus blue mentality and adopt one of green, which is money, because that's all it really seems to come down to. We really need to make sure that we don't fall for these lies, that we don't let this issue subside. Listen to your gut. What is your instinct telling you right now? Because my instincts are telling me that there is a massive cover-up going on right now, and that everybody is involved. Biden's involved, Harris, J.D. Vance, Trump, Patel, Bondi, Bongino, etc., etc. Everybody's involved. And normal people just don't deserve this. I don't know about you, but I'm a person who goes to work for at least 40 hours every week, sometimes more, often more. And I'm having a hard time paying my bills, to be honest. And when I see shit like this going on, and the kind of games that are being played, and the tone that is being taken with a serious problem, it really fucking pisses me off. And I see people throwing around the idea of a revolution. And I gotta be honest, I'm not gonna argue against that. If this goes on much longer, I might even join. This is not a problem we should be having. We are better than this. I think it's just a small portion of our society that is absolutely ruining life for the rest of us. And I don't understand, like, how much more is it going to take before we decide that we've had enough? Anyway, I'm getting worked up about this, so I am going to sign off for now. But please, if you want to take away one thing from the video, let it be this. Don't let go of this issue. Bring it up whenever you feel it's appropriate with your friends and your family. Don't let this die out. Keep pushing on it, and keep pushing on it, not just because it's what happened is disgusting and people need to be brought to justice, not just because those people who committed these crimes are still out there and probably still committing them, but also because of all the issues we're having in society and the fact that these morally bankrupt people may be responsible for those as well. Because if you're willing to do that to a child, you're willing to do just about anything, in my opinion. So there's your takeaway. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.